PRATHANA PRIYADARSHINI.
Yes, ma'am.
Give your introduction.
Ma'am, I have completed my Masters in Anthropology from Uttal University, and currently I'm engaged as Mahatma Gandhi National Fellow from IIM Bangalore under a fellowship under Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship.
Anthropology. Your subject is anthropology and?
Ma'am, optional subjects, Anthropology and Public Administration.
Public Administration.
Okay. Do you know about what is motivation?
Yes, I do.
Yes, please try to elaborate.
So motivation is something that pushes us to actively work towards our goals and achieve them in a timely manner and organized way.
So what actually motivates you?
So my motivation exactly is first of all, to be honest, this is a very respectable career, and secondly, what I like about this job is it gives me ample opportunities to work for the people and be in touch with the grassroots level and understand and actually understand, hear them out, and be able to do something, and that is very enabling in this profession, and that motivates me.
Okay. So do you have some theories of motivation in your public administration?
Yes, yeah, we
Do you remember some thinkers, some theories on that?
Maslow's.
What about this Maslow theory?
Sir, I can't say, I'm sorry. I cannot recollect the exact points of the theory.
Do you know something out of this motivation theory? Maslow, Hertzberg.
Yes, sir, there are some basic instincts in human beings that actually motivates them, but apart from that, there are many social and psychological and ecological factors that come into play when actually we go out into the field and work. So actually it's not a black and white concept. There are many gray areas in this, and it's not going to be mechanical always. I mean,
How motivation is different from morality or moral?
Yes,
Do you know the word moral? Morally high, morally low, something like that. Not moral, moral. One word is moral, one word is moral, other word is motivation. So I am asking moral and motivation.
I'm sorry, sir, I won't be able to elaborate on this.
No idea. Okay. So what is the meaning of bureaucracy?
Actually, bureaucracy, funnily, it came from a French word which meant a desk. And then bureaucracy went on to become a concept that involved officials who cooperated and coordinated with each other to formulate a certain set of objectives and goals and then work towards them in a timely manner.
Any thinker which you know about bureaucratic thinkers? And what he said, Max Weber, what he said about bureaucracy?
Sir, as far as I can remember, Weber was vocal about a type of bureaucracy that was very ideal in nature and
Ideal or sometimes scientific?
Sir, some of the theories were very scientific. I mean, they considered human beings as a kind of machines who will keep on working without.
Can we have some features of bureaucracy as told by Max Weber?
No, sir, I'm sorry. I haven't prepared much on it.
Okay. So tell me about something more about any thinker which you admire most while reading public administration, which you remember basically. Any thinker of your choice? Henry Fayol, Mark Taylor, Follett. Anybody?
Sir, actually, the most I connect to is Abraham Maslow only because of the table of hierarchy which he gave. And the reason behind that is in anthropology also we study a thinker called Bronislaw Malinowski, and he too adopted a functional approach to the working of society and culture, and both of them are similar in a way that they advocated identifying a set of physiological basic needs like food, hunger, thirst, sex, shelter, safety, and so on. And that's why I found a bridge between those two thinkers.
Recollect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, what do you mean by society? Let's go to different sector. What do you mean by society?
Sir, society is a construct in which a group of people live with each other, cohabit with each other, and participate in certain common institutions like family, marriage, kinship, common law, common religion, etc.
So, which kind of marriage is better, polygamy or monogamy, and why?
Sir,
No, what's your view? Don't go by bookish knowledge. I want to know your view and why. Monogamy and polygamy, which one is better and why?
sir, monogamy is, I think, it's better because, yeah, it's better because it ensures that the structure of the family and marriage, the sanctity of those two institutions is maintained, and there is a concept called fidelity also. And in polygamy, I think that concept is compromised on.
On which ground?
I mean, I think that personally it gives men more freedom because we hardly see polygamous women in society. Mostly men, with due respect from Muslim societies, are seen to practice polygamy in some cases.
But there are some, I think, there are more cases of divorces when we have monogamy, right?
So people get bored over time.
So it's better to have a polygamy then. If the chances are like rising for divorces, people have no trust in marriages.
No, sir. I think a lesser percentage will count for that because in monogamy also people love to trust and people learn to love and trust each other for a long time. They evolve to realize their mistakes and something. I don't think that polygamy has those same benefits as monogamy.
So what can be the factors that lead to shifting from polygamy to monogamy?
Sir, actually in anthropology, we have certainly studied about this, and in monogamy, it's better to designate the children born to a woman as have been fathered by a particular man, whereas in polygamy, this is certainly not the case. I mean,
So the period of Ramayana or Mahabharata, which one is supposed to be monogamous? Ramayana. So, but in that case, women are supposed to be seen in a submissive way. Is it so?
no, sir. Actually, sir, the view that women feel submissive is because of also a reason that they somehow view themselves as inferior to men. I mean, they don't find that voice in themselves. They don't find that self-confidence to be able to face up to men and to make family decisions. So it's not always that men are at fault or men prove themselves superior to women, but
Do you find women are given more space in Ramayana?
sir,
Any space you find?
sir, actually, I am a bit confused by this question because I know something about Adbhut Ramayana also, and the storyline that goes in Ramayana is somewhat different from what goes on in Adbhut Ramayana.
What you know? What is your view? What you know?
So my view is that the way we perceive that Sita was treated in Ramayana is slightly wrong because she was given her due space. I mean, yeah, she was thrown out of the kingdom and all, but she was a goddess. She couldn't have been thrown out if she didn't want herself to be thrown out.
So how she was different from Draupadi?
So Draupadi, here that polygamy and monogamy element comes into being. And sir, one thing I find very different in the characters is Draupadi was a bit vengeful, whereas Sita was not. And there are many instances in Mahabharata that explain how Draupadi wanted the killers of her children to be killed, the men who molested her to be killed. Whereas when we shift to Sita's character, her voice doesn't show so much revenge and anger. rather she's more acclimatized to the events that come out in her life, and she quietly accepts them, and then she finds her own way out through them like a river. And she's slightly, I think, she's gone.
So can we say that Draupadi period was more of tribal nature? Can we have something kind of these assumptions?
Yes.
Yeah, because in tribal nature, women have given more freedom, more liberty. Or when we shifted from tribal to more stable system, women get less chances of their expression, something like that.
Yes, sir. When we were no, but that cannot be completely true, sir. When we were barbarous, also women were not necessarily raped or killed or hunted, but even in civilizations like ours, these things keep happening. So violence against women has been a continuous, event along the journey from barbarism to civilization.
Okay, do you know about something called demographic transition?
Yes, sir.
What it is?
So demographic transition is a period when birth rate and death rate were too high to a period when birth rate and death rate were under our control and could be regulated due to advancement in medicine and science.
Who gave this kind of theory? Who gave this kind of theory?
Um, so,
Demographic dividend. Demographic dividend. One is demographic transition. One is demographic dividend. Yeah, you can try.
so can I take a guess? So demographic dividend is the ratio between the aging people in a population to that of the young people.
Can we know about race? What is race? And what is racism?
So race is a concept that has originated from another concept of ethnicity, and race aims to divide the human populations on the basis of visible physical characteristics. And racism is a negative concept that has arisen from race, and that has led to the white man's yes, white man's burden, and it has wreaked havoc on the civilization.
Sir, पूछिए.
You are from Bhubaneswar. Tell me something about your Bhubaneswar. Like, what are the problems we are facing in Bhubaneswar?
So, one of the most recent and urgent problems that Bhubaneswar is facing is that of urban flooding, and it is partly due to
What's the reason for Bangalore flood?
So Bangalore flood. The reason behind Bangalore's floods are that many of the illegal constructions have been developed on river embankments, the catchment areas, and that did not allow water to percolate through safe channels, and that led to an urban development.
Due to corruption, right? We are writing like can't eradicate corruption.
No, sir, we cannot. No, sir, we cannot, because that is also.
Why don't you have positive approach in that? You are going to become a civil servant and you are saying like you can't eradicate corruption. It means you will also take money. Do you mean like that?
Sir, no, sir. No, sir. No, sir. There can be exceptions, and I have written that we can reduce corruption, but not completely eliminate it, because I have read in public administration that even Chanakya emphasized that barring people from corruption is like asking a man not to eat the honey that is at the tip of his tongue, or asking a fish not to drink water while it's swimming in water. So it's an inherent part of human psychology to get corrupted over a period of time. And that is why money and greed are two of the great sins. Sir, one of my strengths is that I'm actually very forthright and I'm very straightforward. If something is wrong, then it's wrong. I don't fear. I'm not afraid of ruffling a few feathers, or I'm not afraid of upsetting a few people just because they are at a superior position. So I have done some things like that in the past also, and I don't. I can't stand corruption. Even in our office, when I see that some misbehavior or something that doesn't involve money is going on, I make sure to raise my voice against it.
Okay, tell me the Cortelia's contribution is public administration.
Cortelia, so he was a brilliant administrator, and he was a kingmaker, and he was. Sir, I cannot exactly recall the names of the theories that he gave, but yeah, he wrote Arthashastra, and he wrote down the principles of political and financial management very beautifully in a first of its kind organized book that has continued to enlighten us till today.
Okay. So which newspaper you are following?
The Indian Express.
Hindu? Okay. Recently news SCU meeting is going on. What is SCU and where it is going? SCU. SCU meeting is going on recently. So heading that meeting.
So it's on the tip of my tongue. I'm not able to speak it.
Tell me something about recession. Why the world is facing recession?
So the world is facing a recession because of a variety of reasons. Because one of them being that since the pandemic has struck, global supply chains, value chains have been thoroughly disrupted, and also labor force participation.
Tell me the definition of recession first. What is inflation?
So inflation is the condition when products continue to have inflated prices over a long period of time.
So you don't know the difference between inflation and recession. Okay. India is celebrating Hindi Divas. Huh? Where it's happening? Which city we are celebrating, and why we will celebrate Hindi Divas?
I can't say about which city it is being celebrated in, but yeah, Hindi Divas is being celebrated to raise more awareness about the use of Hindi language, as Amit Shah also recently said that Hindi is not to be seen as a competitor to other regional languages, but rather as a friend to them. And it's just a way of celebrating the most popular language in India.
So your optional is PROBAD and Anthro, right?
Yes.
So how do you feel like Anthro will help you in your becoming a civil servant after becoming a civil servant? How your knowledge of Anthro will you use in civil service?
So anthropology has essentially taught us to, hear people out and respect their points of view. We have a thing in anthropology called etic and emic points of view. Emic points of view means that understanding culture from the point of view of the person who is actually part of that culture. And etic view means the point of view of the outsider as he sees that culture. So anthropology has taught us to respect both sides of the story.
I think sociologists don't do that. And what's the difference between sociologists and anthropologists?
Sir, sociologists mostly concentrate on studying social institutions, but they do not involve the biology part or the cultural part, whereas anthropologists do that. Anthropologists study archaeology, paleontology, anatomy, in addition to culture and nutrition.
What is tribal subplan?
Sir, tribal subplan is in, I'm sorry, but can I take a guess? I mean, I'm able to recollect some of it, but not some of it.
PRATHANA. Mission Shakti.
Ma'am, Mission Shakti it's a flagship program that involves helping self-help groups to take loans and start their own enterprises at the rural level.
Who is the director of Mission Shakti in Odisha?
Sujata ma'am. Sujata ma'am is the director.
Okay. According to you, what is women empowerment?
Ma'am, women empowerment is a broad concept that encompasses not only financial goals but also it raises the respect of women at the level of their own eyes. They stand up on their own feet, they challenge stereotypes, and they raise their voice to make themselves heard and make decisions at the level that the men of the households do.
What is the difference between women empowerment and feminism? Some people believe in feminism.
Ma'am, yeah, there is a difference. Women empowerment means women have been discriminated against since quite a long time. And women empowerment means enabling them with resources to develop themselves holistically. Whereas feminism is an idea that women are somehow superior to men, and women can do the things that men can't, which obviously they can in some aspects, but in our effort to be equal to men, we sometimes also close our eyes to their rights as well. So there is domestic violence against women, true, but there is also domestic violence against men that we don't take into account. So feminism is.
I want to give a situation. Suppose tomorrow job ହେଇଯାଉଛି, okay, and respected ଗୋଟେ ପୋଜିସନରେ ରହୁଛ, ତ ସେଇ ଟାଇମରେ ତମ ନିଜ ଘରେ ଆଫ୍ଟର ୟୁର ମ୍ୟାରେଜ ତମ ଶାଶୁ ଘରେ ହିଁ ତମକୁ ଟର୍ଚର କରୁଛନ୍ତି, ତ ସେଇ ଜାଗାରେ ତମେ ସାଇଲେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇକି ରହିବ କି ମାନେ ତମର ଯେଉଁ ଟର୍ଚର ଉପରେ ତମେ ଫାଇଟ୍ କରିବ, କନଷ୍ଟିଟ୍ୟୁସନର ଯାହା ରୁଲ୍ ରେଗୁଲେସନ୍ ଅଛି ତା ଉପରେ ଯିବ କି ସାଇଲେଣ୍ଟ ହେଇକି ତମେ ସୋସିଆଲ ରିଲେସନକୁ ଭ୍ୟାଲ୍ୟୁ ଦେଇକି ସାଇଲେଣ୍ଟ ହେବ?
Silent have been, and I'll make every possible effort to get out of the toxic relationship.
Already told that you are so straightforward, so that in that cases what you want to do? कि silent हवा ठीक कि निज ପାଇଁ fight करिया?
Ma'am, निज ପାଇଁ fight करियो because inner peace and self-respect is more important than some show of kind of relationship. Ma'am, it's okay because I am independent. I can take my decisions myself. I can provide for my child if he or she exists, and I don't need my partner to guide me in some way. I can do that myself. So I would rather leave that toxic relationship behind.
Okay. कोरोना ହେଲା ପରେ ଆମ ସୋସାଇଟିରେ କ'ଣ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଆସିଛି? ଆଫ୍ଟର କୋରୋନା ଯେଉଁ ଲକଡାଉନ୍ ଓପନ୍ ହେଲା ତାପରେ କ'ଣ ଚେଞ୍ଜେସ୍ ଯାହା ଆଗରୁ ନଥିଲା ଏବେ ଚାଲିଛି?
ମ୍ୟାମ୍, ଡିଜିଟାଲ ଏଜୁକେସନ୍ ତ ଗୋଟେ ବହୁତ ବଡ଼ ଫ୍ୟାକ୍ଟର। ଆଗରୁ ତ ଏମିତି ଅନଲାଇନ୍ କ୍ଲାସେସ୍ ହେଉନଥିଲା, ଏବେ ତ ଏକ୍ଜାମ୍ସରୁ ନେଇକି କ୍ଲାସେସ୍ କାଉନସିଲିଂ ସବୁ ଅନଲାଇନ୍ ଚାଲୁଛି। ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଅ ପଜିଟିଭ୍ ଆସ୍ପେକ୍ଟ, the growth of digital literacy and digital education. Another aspect will be that it's a negative aspect, but the mental health of many people in this phase have been severely affected due to long working hours. There are no strict boundaries when we work from home, and so the psychology of the mental health of many people has been negatively affected, and that's why they are reaching out more and more to counselors, and a specific rise has been seen in mental and physical violence against women in these periods of time.
So you have no sibling, right? So what was the biggest trouble which you find in nuclear family having no siblings?
So the biggest trouble is having the time of the parents, because even though my mother was a homemaker, she devoted all of her time to making the home. I mean, she gave me very little time, and my father was always engaged in his job, so I kind of led a solitary life. Yes, sir, I have. I mean, I see others sharing a lot with their siblings, which I don't have the chance to. And I have had the undivided attention of my parents to some extent. That is true, but sharing a life with a sibling is a totally other thing. And sir, I am a reclusive person. I don't talk much if it's not necessary. No, if it's not necessary, I don't open my mouth. So because I'm being asked questions. If I'm not asked questions, I'd rather keep quiet. I don't know. Yes, I'm a good listener. I don't talk much.
You don't speak much. Okay. And other things beyond this, having no siblings. Some positive aspects of having no siblings.
Yes, sir, the peace at our home. I mean, no quarrels and no sharing of food. And I have everything to. Yeah, I have everything to myself. All the goodies to myself.
Okay. So, what was your experience with your parents? Do they give you proper time
Sir, yeah.
during your childhood or now?
Sir, up to standard, I think standard 5th or 6th, they did give me proper amount of time. They did give me all the attention. But then when I started growing up, I started becoming more distant, and I used to plan my own study schedules. I used to do everything on my own. So in that respect, I became independent too soon, and but financial independence came late. So they were very I mean, loving and affectionate, and they provided me with everything that I ever wanted. But yeah,
So when you thought to be independent financially, when you got this idea to remain stable, financially independent, when you got this idea?
so I got this idea in my second year of graduation.
Somebody told you or somebody motivates you?
No, sir. I don't like taking money from. I didn't like taking money from my parents. I didn't spend much. I didn't go outside. So this was the reason, because it was my father's hard-earned money. I didn't want to splurge it on things that I could. I mean, I didn't want to indulge myself at the expense of my father. Oh, yes.
तो हार्ड मनी हो कि जमती हो सेटा तो तमरी तो तमर तो राइट्स अछि ना खर्च करिए.
I didn't think likewise. I thought it was his money because he worked for it. I wasn't working for it. So I deserved as much as I required.
Said that your weakness is anger management issues. What this means, anger management issues?
So I get angry very soon. I'm very short-tempered. Even I felt on many occasions that I got angry when I shouldn't have, for trivial issues. And
What makes you angry?
So
Somebody's commitment, somebody conduct, somebody behavior.
yes, sir, behavior mostly, and I'm an affable person. I don't hold grudge against anyone. But when people, so yeah, going by the opinion pieces of the Indian Express, sometimes I have. So during the construction of the Central Vista, some columnists wrote that he is actually pulling down certain pieces of architecture that were reminiscent of the older times, and that's why I felt that in the name of constructing everything new, we shouldn't pull down all the heritage sites, and renaming shouldn't be an everyday thing. Yes, sometimes it's okay. We do not like a personality or somebody hasn't been good to us, so we change the name of a place or a statue or something like that. But pulling down every place, giving it a new name, giving it a new personality, giving it a new identity, that is
having some footprints of yours as a legacy.
Sir, some footprints is okay, but all the footprints should be mine. That is a wrong attitude. I think that when people get too absorbed in politics and ideology, they tend to grow out of what they used to be and become someone new who walks in the footsteps of the agenda. Politics is dirty. I mean, yeah, politics has always been dirty.
Why it is dirty? At least people like you should not say like this. Those who are laymen, they say they can say like this. Politics is a dirty game. But people like you, why you are saying like this? After all, you will serve the people only, those who are politicians. So it is some kind of dichotomy.
Sir, because politics, it has. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, sir, politics these days has become slandering names and calling each other names, and you know, they are exhuming old ghosts, and they are. I mean, when one party. So that's why. So that's why bureaucracy is asked to be so neutral and to be working hard behind the screens and not actively collaborate with politicians in their ideologies. So we are supposed to implement the high-table discussions that are being carried out, and we are not supposed to be identifying with their ideologies. Maybe at a personal level, but definitely not at a public level.
Okay. Okay, so how you find the word freebies and welfare concepts now going on in the politics? So what is this freebies and welfare debate?
Yes, but sir, I'm sorry, I'm not able to recollect because I haven't prepared well for this. I haven't had the time to study actually. That's why I'm not able to say. Yes, sir. Sir, as PM Modi has said that this Revadi culture is going on. This is, freebies and it is gifts that you give to people to secure their votes and elections are nearing. And so this is in a way corrupting their mindset and it is obstructing them from working hard for their ambitions. In fact, since I have already had some views on skill development during this 8-month period fellowship, I have seen that candidates are not willing to go to even the neighboring districts and work for a salary of 20,000. Rather, they would choose to be with their parents, sit at home and earn 7,000 rupees. They are willing to do that because they know they are going to get ration through ration cards. They are going to get cheap grocery and they can sell the 1 rupee rice that they are getting and get a good price for it.